Ready to rock. Billy on.
Right on.
All right. All right.
All right.
Salute.
So episode, I believe it's episode 4.
War.
Episode 4, the after party. Like I was saying, new format. We're gonna get into 2 elements per show, and if we get into something else, then we will. Current events and all that. Tonight we're talking about rap and graffiti. First and foremost, appreciate everybody that's coming in. If you guys like what you see, obviously tell your peoples, friend, family, cousin, friend, getting friend, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, all that. I do have episode 1 on YouTube. I haven't blasted that on Instagram, but I will. And I was trying to upload episode 2 today, and my phone was just tripping, like hardcore tripping.
We're going to have a tutorial soon. You and I, we're going to have a tutorial.
Yeah. All right. So the crossover, yeah. So again, rap and graffiti. And again, when we say rap, we're talking about, the MC, MCing and all that. So whatever encompasses that specific element. I'm not sure if you want to start it off, brother, or if you want me to go, but let's kick it off.
Yeah, let's go. Salute to everybody joining in. I just need to find where we are. We're doing rap first, right? So yeah.
Word.
Kick it off to rap. And so yeah, just wanted to add that it's a new format, and we're just trying to be a little bit more organized and really pay homage to the culture that we supposedly say we fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about rap. And for for me, it was about graffiti and b-boy, and for a lot longer than it was rap in the beginning. So just wanted to add that. But yeah, so all right, I'll go with this one. To me, I feel like with, let's call it traditional rap, I guess. I don't know, is that a traditional 88 to 95-ish rap? Boom bap, I don't know, whatever, okay? Trying to give it a term. To me, it seems like there's a formula for making good music. It's a loose formula. It can substitute. You can add some things. You can alter it. You can get nice with it and do some things, add some, flip it. But I think I'm not saying there's one formula. I'm saying there is a formula that works. It's where it's a dope beat with some drums. It can be simple. It has some like melodies in it, piano maybe, violin. Okay, we already got something cooking, right?
Yeah.
Here you go. Think about it. So I'm just saying, we can make it a track here. It's 10:04. Got some little violin, little horn, a little something, maybe a trumpet or whatever. Boom, some beat, boom, boom, and get somebody spitting over that shit. You got some cuts and scratches, maybe a couple cool samples or something, maybe a hook here and there. Couple verses each, or a couple verses, 2 or 3 verses. And I think you have like at least a template, right, for like something that could work. And I'm curious if you agree with that, because I just feel like sometimes a lot of artists, and they're experimenting, but I feel like sometimes artists will just stray so far from like a proven formula to get you started that it ends up with like mush. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree to a certain extent. I mean, I guess we can say it can go both ways, right? Because if we're talking, and again, we're talking eras, we have to put ourselves in those eras, right? I can't really say 70s, because 70s, we weren't really dealing with let's make a song. 70s is more like it's a jam. We're just all kind of, there's a backtrack and everybody's kind of, on the mic, with the exception of 79 with Rapper's Delight. But the 80s, I'll say like 80, yeah, like 88 to like 95 or whatever, there was definitely a certain formula. But the reason why I say it could go both ways is because, I mean, we have to be experimental, right? And
yeah. And real quick, I don't want it to seem like you should make music like this or else it's whack. You know what I mean? Right. Just so we're clear, I'm just saying like...
No, again, and that's why I brought it up, because I want to make sure, because, any people will be like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, that off the gate, cool. We'll put that off to the side.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I mean, there is, I believe depending on who you talk to, right? It's a certain formula that you follow. I like to, and I say it to myself. I don't really say it out loud, but it's kind of like the Primo formula, right? Primo. Whenever you hear a Primo, I mean, this dude, right? I mean, that makes sense, right?
The
You
old
kind of, all
Primo
right.
formula. The old Primo.
There's the drums, there's the sample, boom, boom, and and you got that sound, you got that feeling. Um, and when you kind of stray away from that, J. Rue the Damager, it's kind of like, it might. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean, there's artists like a Big Just, Company Flow. I mean, that strayed away from that template
Yeah,
and made it dope. So there's ways
did
to do
very
it.
well. Killed it.
Yeah, but
Good job.
yeah, you're right. I mean, it gets to the point where like they either are doing too much, um, and I'm gonna kind of contradict myself here before I even say it. So I'm a big fan of real abstract, not following a certain template, but at the same time following a template. So when I say like, okay, it sounds all mashed up together, just kind of like not really following, just a real like a early De La Soul where something weird, Mos Def said something like something weird happens and then the hug and all that.
Yeah.
But it has to be stylish because again, then at that point like you said, it does sound just kind of like, yeah, we got a but my wife calls that shit scrambled eggs, where it's just like just a boom and it's a track.
Right.
There are certain formulas you have to follow. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not. So here's the thing. Again, hip hop has such a wide bandwidth. What I'm trying to say is like, yeah, perfect. Like it's not like, so like you said, Company Flow was totally off. Their shit was just different. Some people don't fuck with Company Flow. It's not like everybody.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, some people can't fuck with that shit at all. I love this. And you like something. You put me on some more abstract stuff. I like some abstract stuff too. It just has to. First, it has to catch my ear, but it has to make some sense. Like still though, right? Like it still needs to make some sonic sense, music sense, whatever. You know what I mean? Like just something. I mean, to like, I tell a story, whatever. Just make it. I don't like. See, I was a graphic designer and went to art school and did stuff like. But I've never been a person who's like liked abstract art just for the sake of being abstract. Like it's just weird and just fucked up because it's.
Because you have those.
That's funny. That's funny business to me. Like that's just corny. Like you're leaving it too wide open. It's too vague to me. So I've never been that dude. But so I'm just saying, like, I think as far as just getting started, maybe we're talking about just even newer artists. I'm not saying every artist. I'm saying like getting started. There might be like you might not want to just. If you're not that talented yet, you might not want to try to do the most far-reaching shit. Like, if you just started playing basketball, like trying a 360 is probably not going to work out for you.
Right.
So I guess that's what I'm saying.
Fill out the styles, right?
Right. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's I'm not trying to stifle creativity, but I am just saying like, make sense, man. Make it make sense.
Yeah. And I mean, someone mentioned, I believe they mentioned Abstract Rude. I wouldn't consider Abstract Rude an abstract artist. In the grand scheme of things, he has projects that he's been included in that are abstract, but like Dose One, Big Just, Oracle Elohim, people like that, where it's like you kind of have to have that ear. But I think we're straying away from what you're trying to say. Yes, formulas. Again, when it comes to rap, when it comes to hip hop, that boom bap sound or whatever it is you want to call it. Yeah, man, you start off with the drums, right? The drums is what, I mean, that's the heartbeat of hip hop, right? Just that drum is what makes you bob the head, tap your feet, and it goes back to the whole James Brown, stomp, clap your hands, stomp your feet, and it kind of keeps you going. And B-boys do their thing. The MC's kind of like, all right, get into high, give me the mic, and so there's a formula, right? The drums, okay, the backtrack, the sample, little hi-hat, little snare, and then whatever comes next, little scratch or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely a formula that has to be followed in order to make a good track.
Of course. So real quick, peep this. So this is about the time where we're about to switch. You're going to share your topic. So I'm asking if we can freestyle it real quick, because what do you think about you sharing your graph topic, and then we do rap, and then you share graph? and then that way at
Yeah,
least we.
yeah, let's do it.
So why don't you share your? Let's get into your what you want to get as far as graph. So guys,
Graph. So again, we're gonna
us
get into the little graph thing here. So, um, me personally, in terms of graph writing, and we might lose a few people, not in terms of them getting off, but just kind of like in what we're talking about. So graffiti to a lot of people is just like, nah, even though I like hip hop, nah. So bear with me here. But in my days of bombing, and I'm sure in your days of bombing, we're two different coasts, hence why we're doing this. But it used to be where, and we talked about this, graffiti writers, I would go out bombing, and rarely did I feel scared in terms of I'm going to run into a rival, right? Yeah, I knew there, okay, I might run into so and so, but running into so and so wasn't necessarily like, oh, I got to pack a piece or, no, it's just you're going to run into so and so. I got to have my A game because it's either we're going to, I got the cans, right? If I'm going to meet up with so and so, I got cans to prove what I got. If there was beef, beef was football games. Beef was, all right, let's see who could get up harder versus 90, at least out here in Southern Cali, 95, 96 prominent when it started getting into taggers, right? Graffiti writers, graffiti bombers, taggers, tag bangers, gang bangers. All of a sudden, all these taggers are, yeah, I got to pack a piece because so-and-so has beef. And it just kind of spilled into that. What I wanted to bring up, my topic is black book sessions, more prominent in the East Coast. That happened a little here, but it wasn't where we met up in a certain way. All right, let me write. That's more recent to me personally. And when I say recent, I'm talking about like the 2000s. You know, I can't say for the 80s because I didn't bomb in the 80s. The 90s was just relentless. People were just out bombing. So I never really sat down and be like, oh, let me write on your black book. It was just more, let's go bombing together. You met somebody. Where do you think we're at now, in terms of graffiti writers from not so much a rival crew or a rival area? Um, does that happen out there where you're at, or like someone being able to, oh, you're right, okay. I mean, I know we're older, so we can't really say too much, but our black book sessions or a bunch of graffiti writers getting together all at one place and just going off on their black books?
So, a couple things, real quick. I'm gonna say this because you shared like some people might be lost with what we're saying. I wanna also I wanna give the benefit of the doubt that to our audience. I wanna give the benefit of the doubt that the people in here know who the fuck we are and what we're about, and that like at the same time, some people may new people, but like we're about this all this shit, and if there's a lot of regulars in here that like know that we talk about all this shit. So I think it's important to also acknowledge like there's heads in here that are about everything. Big up Chucky Boogie's like Black Books were big here in New York City back in the day.
Word.
So
that's why I bring it up. Yeah,
I want to acknowledge everybody in here that like for the most part probably really fucks with all this and not downplay the fact that because we're also catering to like new people to come in. But if it's mostly regulars in here, which I think it is, and I've seen a lot of names, and it's like, so yo, everyone knows what we're about. So I just wanted to say salute to y'all for that.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's good. That's good.
To answer your question, East Coast, yeah, black books were heavy. I didn't like you. I wasn't like at no writer's bench writing with cats, but you've seen it as far as even just documented. The black book scene was heavy, but we caught up and just went out, yo. I wasn't in no black books like really doing pieces and shit. I was a bomber, yo. Like I could do pieces and stuff as far as with markers and stuff. I wasn't good with the cans with pieces. I didn't even want to really get that far. I just wanted to get up. So our everybody that we wrote with, we wanted to get up. You know what I mean? That was our whole. We were just trying to get up. So we didn't really get down like that. I mean, if we were around each other or something, but it wasn't really a session. We would just just be like whatever. We were too busy getting up, man. You know what I mean? Like that's what our thing was. And as far as beef goes, we had some beef actually. It was some little shit. I mean, it was petty and doesn't warrant like any real place in graph history or anything. But
Okay, right.
but we had some little goofy beef, some cross outs and shit or whatever. And and some little things like that. But but it wasn't like, but still, I wasn't fearing for my life or anything. It wasn't no, we wasn't thinking we was gonna get killed or anything like that because of this shit. I feared more for the cops, but than
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
other writers. I mean, it
No,
wasn't. I mean, like we go. There was this famous. There was this spot. It's called the Wall of Fame. It's in Hartford, and it's underneath. So Colt Guns. He's from Hartford. Samuel Colt. So there's the Colt building. Is where they made all the guns. There's a by that. I'm telling y'all a spot to go. So in Hartford, like by that building, there's like some underpasses and shit, some railroad tracks. Obviously, when you get railroad tracks, there's a graffiti spot. So there's a wall, two walls under there where people get up, and like we didn't have any mentors, yo, either. So like, you go there, like if cats were writing, they'd stop writing if you rolled up. You know what I'm saying? They would just start smoking or something or whatever. They wouldn't
yeah.
write. So like we never really had any beef or anything like that, or it got like out of control and nothing like that. Someone said spit B Street. You know what I mean? Rubik said I carry a black book in my backpack to get hit on by writers. That's dope. So like, but that was. Again, graffiti is different. I mean, I don't know like how it is out in LA, or I mean, I'm sure though, I am sure of this because again, every scene has it has layers, right? It has another subterranean shit. So I'm sure like both in LA, San Fran, Bay Area, Big Street, Philly. I know there's beef in Philly. I've seen all kinds of beef. There's beef here in Pittsburgh. I've seen. So I've seen some fuck this cat, whatever, you know what I mean? Like I like it. I love seeing that shit. So, but there's definitely beef in Philly. I've seen that. I saw that the whole time I was in Philly. There was active graffiti. Like fuck y'all. Like
Philly doesn't. Side note. Philly doesn't get a lot of respect in terms of graph from everything to ultimately being the birth of modern day graffiti, quote unquote. Right? I'll say it quote unquote because a lot of people say that's not the truth. A lot of people say that's where it was birthed. Graffiti. But Philly heads have some crazy hand styles.
course, of
Miss
course.
me with all that if you don't think that's the case, because
No.
Philly has some crazy hand styles.
But I think heads no. But like on the documented, like well documented, like big scale, no, it's really the East Coast and West Coast. I mean, I would think. I mean, there's like, but Philly hands are huge. I mean, people understand. I mean, like heads understand, but like I don't think the average, like somebody might recognize a Tats Crew piece, or TAT, whatever, or like I don't know, like, but not they might not gonna recognize it's maybe the Philly shit, but Philly be slept on in a lot of shit. So
Yeah.
I think, but the heads know about those hands, man. Big up to our man NM the Great. You know what I'm saying? TDK.
Anna has some crazy
The dude
styles.
is crazy, yo. The dude is,
Back to the beef.
yeah.
Quickly, it used to be, and we've talked about this, right? It used to be rules that you just grew up knowing. Whether someone, you just heard them, the elders, or big brother, big cousin, whatever, big homie. You overheard it and you kind of you knew it. To me, I can't remember someone sitting me down saying this is what it is. It's just something I knew, right? A throw up goes over a hit up, right? A piece goes over a throw up, right? The blockbuster, the main mural goes over everything, not the other way around. Spit. Someone said spit Beat Street, which is really cap, right? We're really talking about cap. Cap was more, let's get up. I don't give a fuck. Now, a little more on the disrespectful side, because you can get up and not go over somebody's fucking
Yeah.
nice beat. But there's two or maybe even three different graffiti writers, right? There's the or not even graffiti writer. There's the graffiti bomber that's fucked the system. There's the dude or girl that wants to floss and puts their name up. And then there's the artist, right? Where it's just real nice and maybe now doing more digital stuff. But when you're talking about the actual bomber, that bomber against the system, I don't give a fuck. It's total destruction. Right? Yeah. What's the dude that? what's the name of that dude? Fucking something. Rubik's, help me out. I can't remember his name. Fuck. And this guy was just like, fuck everything. I don't care. And it's just, dude's 40, 50 years old. He's just like, I don't give a fuck about beautiful, whatever. Fucking Graves. Graves? Is it Graves? No, I might be wrong. Either way, there's several bummers that just don't give a fuck. I don't care about nice colors. It's just my name, how much I can get it up, and how often can I get that name up. Which brings me, right, to more of a, well, we could do a hard stop there, but yeah, graffiti writers, black book sessions, beefs. I think beefs came from cats forgetting that there's rules to this shit. Really weirdly, there's rules to graffiti writing. I know from an outsider, like let's just say so-and-so from down the street, get off my porch type of lady or whatever. If I tell her, yeah, her or him, yeah, there's rules to this graffiti shit, they're probably laughing in my face. Rules to graffiti, like it's, you know, but there is. And I think the youth or whoever that disregarded those, like, fuck the, you know, throw up goes over a tag. It's going to be the other way around. And now you got like, wait, you went over my shit. Now there's conflict. Now there's a gun. Now there's violence. Now we're not a crew. Now we're a gang. Boom.
That's usually the case. Before we transition back to rap, everybody, and the MC, I just wanted to share real quick about the Black Book, because we had legendary, I call him a legend. He's got busy, started getting busy in '89, and he's been still getting busy. Yeah, legendary LA writer Trickster on about a month ago.
Has it been a month, really?
It's been about a month.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was sharing that 3 or 4 weeks, and he was sharing that like that he hit me up after because you know the interview was an hour. He was like, "Yo, you know, we didn't get into the importance of the Black Books." He goes, "That was so important and instrumental in my career." So for real writers from that era, I probably on both coasts, the Black Books were huge. Yo, I mean, you know, we like as far as the people that made it like their thing. He was like, "Yo, the Black Books were huge." So I just wanted to acknowledge that you know he was sharing that. So before we jump back into the rap shit.
Yeah. And when I said earlier, to me, you know, me personally, the Black Book, other than myself sketching shit, it wasn't really something I learned the hard way, having my backpack tagged up with my shit. I'm not carrying anything with any type, because you get pulled over and, oh, you got so and so's tag. That means you know so and so, and then that, you know, police database has everything locked, dude. So I rarely walked around with the Black Book.
No, I didn't either. I was just I was out trying to get busy, yo. You know what I mean? I did shit. I did little pieces and I did little productions and shit in my room with like crazy, like expensive markers because I was in like art school and stuff. But I wasn't trying to. I just wanted I wanted to be out there, yo. I wanted you to go like everywhere. I wanted to be all city, like this, where everywhere you went, you know what I'm saying? You saw my shit. I loved it, yo. And I loved when I went out or something and I just saw like fucking like a spot just fucking annihilated, like a whole corner, like my shit, yo. It's my shit. I'm telling
you, I still drive around. This just happened the other day, yesterday actually, and I still drive around looking at tag. You know, and out here it's more gang tags, but I still acknowledge it. My wife's like, "You're 40 some years old. Like, why are you looking at that?" It's just me. I saw a meme too, when they really weren't doing it. They just were doing with the finger, and it said, "Real graffiti writers know what this is," and it showed different clips of a finger just kind of writing stuff. And I do that. Like, I do that all the time. If I'm sitting waiting for wifey for something, I'm like doodling on like my leg or on my arm, just with just my finger, just acting like I'm tagging.
Of course.
It's just in me. That's just what I do. I mean, I'm not out there catching wreck, but
of course. Let's jump it back into the rap shit. So, you guys all know, not you guys all know, you guys don't know me from a fucking hole in the wall. Some of you do. But like, so it's well known, at least on my page. I don't like cats rhyming over these drumless loops. I hate that shit. I call it Benadryl rap. It puts me to sleep. It's boring. And I just don't like them shits. But I have a theory about like why I think a lot of cats are doing it lately. to me, there's been like a big push for lyricism within like the underground, like whatever scene, indie scene, and it seems like I feel like a lot of cats feel like they can express their lyrical flippity flap flop crazy doohickey rhyming scheme through better over the drumless shit than something with a beat where they gotta almost compete or whatever. And I think that I'm just saying I don't know if it's a subtle or not so subtle type thing, but it's just a theory, and I was curious what you think. And I'm not talking about the. We don't have to get into how much whether or not I like why I don't like it. I'm just asking because that's we can talk about it, but I'm just saying like the more I'm just curious that's just a theory I had about it, and then convert also. I think it's a big produce, and this I'm just adding this on a big. I think it's a big push on the producer side because I think they feel more musical or some shit sometimes. So even though like I don't know, I feel like they, and I'm just speculating right there. Like maybe are they more like artsy, like making cool music. I don't know.
Let me speak on that. Yeah, okay. So on the first part, I do rock with you on that, damn near 100%, because what we talked about earlier, right?
Yo, real quick, we're talking. People that just joined in, we're talking about rapping over drumless beats,
Yeah,
drumless
and the
loops.
possible theory behind it.
Right.
So I'm gonna answer the I don't know if it was a question, but I'm gonna add to it. Yeah, I feel like as a rapper, um, as an MC or whatever you want to call yourself, you might feel, I'm not saying you might have more free range, you might feel you have more free range to be fancy with your words. I don't have to, because when you hear, and we go back to boom bap, right? The boom. I think that's where boom bap came from. The boom, 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 right? So you're not it's a sample and it's more laid back. And most of the time when you have drumless beats, they're really slowed down. So you can sit here and almost just kind of like, yo, so and so, blah 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 blah. It really ties me to my rap topic, which I won't mention right now, but I'll kind of transition to it. But yeah, I think the rapper, whether it's laziness or not, I'm gonna kind of fall on the laziness part, where it's like, yeah, I don't really have to write to an actual drum. Me as a MC, everyone has their different ways of writing music, writing rhymes. Me, I write rhymes to the drum. So if you come across with me and be like, I'm a producer, here's a drumless beat, I can write to it. Don't get me wrong, but it's I need drums. My lyrics, the way I do the words fall on the kick, the snare, and I'm not gonna sit here and rap for y'all, but you'll see. I mean, it's that's just the way it is. So if I feel like, all right, let me floss my lyrics and not really follow a template, which we were talking about earlier, yeah, dude, I can almost not even be on beat and not even be noticeable. To where if let's take your acapella, your already recorded acapella on that drumless beat, put a drum track, same BPMs, put your lyrics on there. I assure you, at some point, your lyrics are going to be off. So yeah, it's just, I think it's easier for the rapper MC to try to floss a specific style, and again, a lot of people like it. I can get away with one song, and sadly, you know what I've heard one of my personal favorite rappers do it a lot, which is Planet Asia, and it's still dope, but it's just like, ugh. I want some Kelly Agent shit. Like I need that. But I'm with you. Yeah, it's a way for them not to show that, hey, I'm not really going on beat and I'm trying to floss these lyrical, spiritual, miracle type flows.
Twistello, if you're still there, let me know because I got a question for you. I'm big up to my man Twistello because
my dude Goomson. Okay, I do want to mention this. Drop it, yes, and it has nothing to do with. I don't want 3 minutes of no drums. Again, I can do away with them one song and it has to be really dope. But I am huge on switch ups, right? So if you're rapping, I mentioned this last time. The producer's job is to know, okay, this rapper recorded his track. I now have the final track and I'm going to adjust it to make it sound super dope. And I know as a producer, as a good producer, where in the part of a song where I can drop the drums to give emphasis to what the rapper is saying, MC is saying. So yes, Goomson, absolutely, brother. I dropping drums on a specific part of the song or parts of the song, great. But no drums whatsoever. And we're really talking about the MC here. So I'm not going to stray away. Tristella's on, so I know you said you wanted to ask a question.
Read his comment.
I feel the voice is an instrument that can make it work. I love that as people not head to, and sometimes the beat assist lyrics.
That's if they do it well, though. So here's the thing: Planet Asia can do it well. That doesn't mean it like I can take 10 tracks of it. And that's my man. You know what I'm saying? He knows I don't like that shit all day long. I mean, but there's a couple cats like him. Him and Willie the Kid came on. Willie the Kid was like, yo, he goes, I started this shit, man. He was like, yo, he goes, fuck everybody. I've been doing this shit like way back. So like he can do it well. I still don't want to hear 10 tracks of it in a row. That shit puts me to sleep. Hip hop, I didn't come into that shit with no like fucking sleepy rap. Yo, I came in with some fucking head nod and shit. That's what it is for me. So
yeah,
that's what I want. You know what
Again,
I mean?
I'm a little more lenient to it. I know that shit, and honestly, I'll be honest. Of course, I noticed it, but it was never an issue to me until you and I had that conversation. And then now every time I hear it, that's the first thing. It's like, all right, drumless. Because I'm here like, all right, when's the drum gonna come in? When's the drum gonna come in?
Ain't no drum.
Yeah, I can do one, maybe even 2 tracks, but 13 tracks all drumless, issue. Now let me go back to what Twistello said. Yes, you're right. The voice is definitely an instrument within itself. Now, I don't know if you guys are gonna rock with me on this, but it like you said, it has to be delivered well. If the voice, maybe not much the voice, the delivery, the way it's spit is on some, like, I'll even bring up like a Rakim, or even a Kool Moe Dee. They're very mechanical. You know, I go to work. This is a little faster, but I go to work like a doctor. When I grab the mic, you got to let. And so it's like, so it's like, yeah, it's giving emphasis on boom, 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 as opposed to a very slurred, a very just, I'm talking to you, real like rock, you know, Marciano type, like, And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking shit on Marciano at all, but I'm just saying that's me personally. But you're right. If it's someone that wrote it, I don't know, man. I'm pro drums, dude. I just think it falls back to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line. And you said you were on. I mean, as far as Rock Marcy goes, I mean, I was gonna say, I bet there's 12 people here. I bet at least 4 to 5 people like love Rock Marcy, and I'm like, I don't get it. You know, I don't see the like. I mean, I can't. This shit like an hour. I mean, hour of these albums, they're shorter now, but like these full albums are just like no drums, man. That shit is sleepy time for me, man.
I know this isn't the topic, but I want to mention it because it kind of coincides with it. What I've noticed, and I don't listen to too many of these albums without drums, but since we're talking about drumless beats,
drumless loops,
drumless loops, and which hence what I'm about to ask: is it just me, or are these drumless projects, drumless loops, just looped? Because that's also part of putting me to sleep as well. Again, would it be different? And I don't know. I don't think it would be. But for those that know me, not a lot of you do personally, but I like ins and outs. I like changes in beats. I like the boom bap, and then like a snare where a drum's supposed to be just kind of something that throws you off, change in beat. So most of these projects that I've heard that are all drumless, it really is a sample that's looped for 3 minutes straight, no break, no. It's just not break as a drum break, but no change up. It's just 3 minutes of that loop, and it's like, it's flat. Like it's
A
just,
lot,
I get it. It sounds dope, but 3 minutes.
a lot of them are like that. Yes, I'm saying they're not even making the real beats. I mean, they're not even like they're not even fully constructing the beats themselves. I could see if they were taking the sound. They're not even doing anything. Like it's just some cats are just taking a loop, man. Like and just playing that shit. I could do that shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That shit is corny to me, man. I can't
Yeah,
fuck with
I mean,
shit. Like
I can stomach it a little more than you, but
listen, I can do it.
when you brought it up, that's all I think about whenever I hear a drum loop. It's just like,
So
fuck.
look, if there's 7 tracks. Because I mean, that's how long albums are these days 7, 8 tracks, whatever, max. I don't know. I can take 1 track on there, but like, I don't know. I mean, I can take a deal with it. But, I mean, but I'm not, I'm just saying, like, more than 1 track, I'm good. Like, it's just, it's lazy to me. It's just lazy. I don't know. And even if it's not lazy, it's like, I don't know. It's lazy on the producer. So, whatever. On to the next. We're good. I mean, but I was curious what you thought of it. So whatever.
Yeah. So while we're on, I guess while we're on the topic of, we're still on rap, right?
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of rap, um, and same topic, almost same topic of having free range, not necessarily going to a drum. I want to discuss rap battles, acapella rap battles that give you all sorts of time to deliver your flow. I am not a fan of it.
Oh, you mean like the current stuff, like right now?
Yeah, this is current shit. I mean,
Battle rap.
man, we come from a different era, right? And I'm not trying to be that old head. And I know youngsters are gonna be like, "Oh, you're an old head. Get with the times." Trust me, I'm down with getting with the times. But it's just, hear me out. It takes away from the art form. You're supposed to, now, whether or not you feel like a freestyle is off the top or that off the top is really off the top, that's a whole debate within itself. But let's just say off the top, right? None of these acapella freestyle battles or whatever are really a freestyle or off the top. These are all pre-written. You can tell. And if they're not, it gives you enough time to make it seem like they're pre-written because you're not really going to a certain BPM. You're not like, all right, you have to rhyme, boom, here, boom, there. It's just, there's no beat whatsoever. And the dude is like, yo, you see this man? This man, blah, 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 blah. And then he waits for the crowd to shut up. It takes away from everything. Or it's like, you say the punchline, they don't hear you. They say it again. Like back in my day, that if they didn't hear the punchline, you're on to the next. You're up here, off top. You're trying to get your shirt this, or your breath smell, blah, blah, blah. And you're just going crazy. These acapella battles are just, it's taken away from the actual art form of the rap battle, personally.
Yeah, it's making me laugh. I like when you don't like shit. Because usually it's always me that's like complaining about something.
Nah, bro. No, trust. And I'm gonna bring some more
Well,
of that
actually,
shit to the table because that shit irks me.
actually, it's not because actually it's funny because maybe if we have time we can talk about it because when I first met you, like I almost blocked you. So, anyway, yeah. So yeah, listen, I hate that shit. I've talked about it numerous times as well. I think those battles are corny. I do. True story though. I do look at them shits when I'm high sometimes, and like because they're so funny to me. Because the
They're
dude,
funny. Yeah, absolutely.
your girl, she ain't got no ass. Oh, she ran real fast. Oh. But I took her to the house, and then she came home, and then I touched her ass. Oh.
And everyone's like, yeah.
No, it's corny, man. It's corny. Again, no beat. Like you can just talk and say all types of crazy shit. You had to be looking around like looking for like this shit. Why be looking around?
What?
Like fucking yo, like yo. They be looking under the table and shit, looking around like yo. Fuck them, yo.
And look, okay. Again, coming from an MC, I know you were MC too, and I'm not.
Yep.
I'm not a name or anything, but I've been doing this shit since I was fucking 12.
Yep.
I've been in battles. I get it. You know, whether it was for fun or not, I get it. But not only are you being tested by whatever competitor is in front of you, but you're being tested on your, how quickly can I come up with something, not only to sound dope, not only to be on beat, and you can right away. I mean, the crowd will tell you if you lost it, if you're off beat, if you didn't rhyme. Like, the motherfuckers will tell you all that out the fucking window with these, you know, beatless battles, because it's, again, and the shit they talk about too. Dude, I've told you before.
Oh
You miss me with this. Your lady was on my. No, she wasn't, bro. Like come on.
no,
What's up?
I'm sorry. He said he ain't gonna front. He said the Smack DVDs. Yeah, I can't fuck with him, Chucky, ever. But yo, here's what I was gonna say. They like have like whole research teams that go out and like find shit to like talk that's true shit about their families and stuff. So that's the other thing. So it's just it's a.
I mean,
I can't fuck with it, yo. I'm sorry. None of it.
see,
That's corny as fuck.
that is corny. And that is corny because, again, before, when I mean, and I can only talk about myself, right? When I was in high school, there was 4 of us that used to MC. 4 of us in our high school. High school was fucking huge. 4, and that tells you what era it was in, right? There's only 4 of us. Now you go to high school and it's like half the school, more than half the school raps. But back then it's like, I don't know this dude from his locker, like, but okay, I'm gonna have to go off of what I know you wear, who you hang out with, not fucking who your family is, and like, maybe, all right, your dad picks you up in a fucking Pinto, all right, great, boom, I'll use that. But it was all my skill, my flow against yours. It's not like, yo, my friend told me, or so and so told me that, yeah, your lady broke up with you. Nah, dude, like, oh, come on, dude. Come on. And that's on a smaller scale. In terms of cannabis versus LL and shit, well, I mean, you know, LL and them, you know, you can go off of stories, and I mean, these people are high, you know, profile MCs, but for local shit, come on, dude.
And here's the thing: we're not just talking about the fact that it's acapella. I don't, because somebody was like, "No DJ, no go." Big up C's, man, my teammate. But like, I've seen dope acapella battles by MCs. They just spit like they were kind of like spitting over a beat, like, or and at least, and then somebody probably gave them like a beatbox. I mean, try to give them something, but like, so I'm not just against acapella, like this.
Oh, me neither. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, but so I just want to, but you know, it's preferable to have a beat, but like, not this researching shit. These cats be researching. So
Look. Another reason why I hate this beatless stuff, the beatless battles. You have people like Divine Styler that can bust a flow without a beat. It's documented. There's videos. Peace, Freestyle Fellowship, Tech Nine. I know Tech Nine is more of a, you know, the name is up here, but this dude would beat on his chest. I don't have a beat. Fuck that. I'm gonna beat on. You see how hard that, to me personally? How can you beat on your chest, especially his style? Because his style is kind of like double time. Beat on your chest and still rap. Like, fuck the DJ. Like, I don't have anything. Let me do it myself. What?
that's crazy. I never seen that. That's nuts. So yeah, nah.
Next up, what we got?
Yeah, so we're up on Graph. So my question is, so big up everybody. We just finished the rap shit. We're gonna finish
TMZ gossip.
with graffiti. So yeah, we also, well, at least in graffiti has the term toy is tossed around a lot, and I'm just curious as far as, I'll just ask you straight up, what's your definition, at least from what you heard of, as far as being a toy goes, and like, and then I wanted to, and then I was, based on your definition, then I wanted to share some some examples of maybe modern day toys, some weird shit going on in the graffiti game. So what's your definition of toy?
To me, a toy is, I mean, in my day, it used to be just someone that just didn't have any style, right? Which it's kind of weird because we all start somewhere, right? So it's not, you're not gonna wake up one day and be like, yeah, my hand style was fucking crazy nice. We all start I started somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I think we all start as toys, but I think the definition of toy was never really established. To me, a toy, aside from having a weak style, whether it's a hand style, um, your balmy style, whatever it is also faking the funk, right? You talking about, yeah, I bomb with so and so crew because we used to fucking, I can say names so easily right now.
Right.
There was these dudes where it's like, yeah, I go out with so and so, and then I talk to so and so, like, nah, that dude doesn't. He's never gone out with. That's a toy. You're a toy, bro, because you're, and a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people see it more like, no, what you wrote on that wall is not nice. That's the toy. To me, a toy is anyone faking the funk, acting like they're out there bombing and they're really not.
Yeah, no, at least the definition I've heard has been typically um, not only is your style weak, but you're making it seem like it's dope, and you're making it seem like you're dope and like you're doing dope shit, and you're lying about shit, and you're just corny, like you know what I'm saying, and you don't know the rules, you know what I'm saying, of the shit. So like you fuck around and go over some shit with your stupid ass tag, or or you're working on your throwy, and you go over some fucking dope ass piece
That's a fucking toy.
that's,
Absolutely.
that's been around. It may be fading and shit, but everybody in the community area knows, yeah, that's that piece. That shit just gonna ride right out until it goes out, and then you go over that shit, like, cause you don't, like this dummy, like, and that could apply to any fucking situation. But so what's going on in the graffiti in the community? At least my man told me out in L.A. is that we might have talked about this, but it's always bugged out when I do. Is that like white suburban art school kids are being driven into like hood areas of LA doing pieces, if you will, somehow with mommy like watching, like taking a picture, or a friend or relative taking a picture of them in the hood, posted up, like doing a piece. And think there was more to it too, where they're like, I don't even think they were like really in the hood. They're getting somewhere like where there's already maybe
Yeah.
like let's buy like a tag or something, and make it seem like they're like in like these. Yeah, and
So
these are like art school kids that happen. Probably I've seen some of the pieces. That, like if you saw it, you would think they were like knew what was going on, but they're fucking like this posers and they're toys. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's not new, at least out here. That's been happening from what I can remember, late '90s, early 2000s. Oh yeah, dude, that's been happening more prominent now, but that's been happening. Especially in LA. LA, you can catch there's certain quote unquote permission walls that looks like you're in the hood, right? It's really like Skid Row, so it's not you're driving and you feel like you're in the hood. It's not necessarily a hood, but for the outsider, and if you're on TikTok or Twitter and you're filming, you're like, yo, this dude's straight in the hood. If you're not from LA, you wouldn't know left to right. So yeah, that shit's been happening, and yeah, that's a big ass toy, especially if you're doing it for the gram, and so you have 5 different people, filming, making sure they're looking left, looking right, and you're catching the tag. Or let's put it this way, and I've seen this 30 deep, and I don't mean deep as in I got a bunch of mobsters, or no, these just 30 people. Let's say 30 people looking at you bust a nice mural. Don't get me wrong, nice little graffiti mural on a permission wall. No diss, but it's on a permission wall. You're almost done. Turn on the camera. Catch me doing the final outline or the final whatever, and just kind of make it look grungy. Like, all right, yeah, but 30 people were backing you up with lights and fucking taco vendors and fucking whatever. Like, everything was okay up until you turn on the camera to make it seem like, yeah, I've been in the, nah. And that's been happening.
Wow. Yeah, some people. Yeah, a couple people said that's trash to me, but that is what it
It's
is.
garbage. It's garbage. I
Yeah.
mentioned, and I'm going to plug it again, one of my favorite albums called Graffiti Kings. Longevity, Phoenix Orion, bunch of LA heads, AC Alone. But the whole album is really kind of sticking it to those people. I mean, they have skits really talking about that. These frat boy, walkie-talkie, I can't remember what the guy says. Mirror One is on there, just really talking about all that shit, talking about toys. If you haven't heard it, I'll send you a link. I told you I was going to send it to you, and I never did. But you know what happens with these toys too, which kind of little side note is these people make a name for themselves, right? My tag name is so and so. Then they get heat for this, and they do what at least we did at Southern California, Orange County specifically in the 90s, is go by another name. I used to go by 4 or 5 different names when I tagged. And they just like, all right, I'm going to go by a different name. But this is mostly when they're bombing, not necessarily like I'm doing a blockbuster piece. And, you know, and now we're dealing with Instagram handles that you can't really change. Back then, it was like, oh, yeah, so-and-so, you know, I'll say it. I used to tag Ender, ENDR, Ender. And then I kind of was like, all right, that name kind of got burned, whatever. Then I was like, I'm going to tag whatever. And then I actually went by Festo, kind of like a Souls of Mischief homage, Festo. I went under Festo, P-H-E-S-T-O, S-T-O. And I think they're doing that more so now because of that. Kind of like saying, I'm getting heat for writing on permission walls. Let me go buy something else because now the real graffiti writers are thinking so-and-so. But it's hard to go with it because, again, your Instagram handle now says your toy name. So
right. I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's a funny thing. Like the toy behavior. It's basically just fuck behavior. That's all.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
what's your
Again, this shit's been happening. It's never gonna stop. It's only gonna get.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this: Have you? I saw a video. It started off. I think it must have been somewhere in New York, but then I saw it happen here, where they take this big ass fucking what I feel like is a sticker, huge, fucking like 10, 11 feet. It took like 6 people to put it up, but it was pre-cut, pre-printed, and all they're doing is just gluing it onto the wall, like if it was a piece. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. That's how a lot of these big pieces are getting done on the sides of buildings. They're like they're using projectors and shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're using projectors and like fucking fuckery. Yeah, it's off. I mean, well. Then is it graffiti or is it street art, which is another conversation. I want you to get to your last point though. So, for graph, and you got one, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of touched on it. The names, right? Battling for names. So like I remember.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. And I mean, and I'll touch on it. You know, I remember someone I mentioned Festo when I used to go by Festo. You know what? I'll say this. My wife.
I'm high as fuck. I didn't know you taught. Well, I thought it was battling. You were battling for names? We talked about that already?
No. So I kind of, so that's what I was going to say, but I was talking about the names kind of changing the names. So yeah, I could definitely talk about it. I was going to talk about Festo, that was my name, but I'll talk about, so I used to tag END, end. And I was like, why do you tag end? I'm like, yeah, when you step to me, that's it. And cool. And then out here in LA, it's always like the R at the end, right? So if it's like spit, it's spit R, like spitter, ender. That's just what we do.
Oh, okay.
But I remember I was battling with this dude, and I went back to it. My wife constantly makes fun of it because, whatever, she's been around for a while with me. And I had put end. I used to run with the crew NFRK. I can't believe I just said that. But I came back several weeks later. It's just fucking hilarious. And it was nice, dude. It was a nice tag or whatever. And then kind of, you know, it's end this way. And on the side up, it's kind of small. Someone put rear, like rear end. I'm like, done, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it wasn't a sweet tag. Like the rear wasn't sweet. It was just someone, you know, whatever. But it goes to show you how kind of like, damn, like, fuck, they got me. So I'm like, Festo it is, yo. Fucking funny. But again, when I started writing Festo, not long after that, I kind of got away from it for at least a little while. But yeah, someone else was writing Festo. They were writing it a little different. I don't know if it was with a Z, P-H-E-S, I can't remember what it was. But we battled for the name, right? There were no guns. It was just, same thing with MCs, right? There's a Tech 9 that rhymed with Onyx. There's Tech 9, you know, the Tech 9 that's with that. So you battle for the name. Like, it's not on some crazy bullshit. Just boogie rap. That was a blow to the ego, that rear end shit. But yeah, man, we used to battle for names all day. or
Is
now they call these people rankers, but that battle for that name, I think, was not only fun, but it tested your. This is stupid to say in terms of outside looking in, but it tested you, right? How often can you get this up? And it's funny because the graffiti community knew this shit. Like they knew, all right, so even if you don't know them, those taggers personally, because it was there was a point where people didn't know who wrote what. But then after a while, like, oh yeah, that's so and so, and you kind of kept it hush hush. But like, oh yeah, remember when so and so was going against so and so, and specific colors that you were writing with, not necessarily on some gang shit.
yep.
But yeah, fest. I think I ended up. I might have even lost that. I don't remember because I just stopped bombing that name. But did you guys have that, like, where it's like, yeah, let's battle for that name, graffiti wise?
I mean, if it came up, it never really came up, at least in my hood. But I mean, I've heard of it at least more and more in New York. I mean, but everybody was kind of original in our shit, so we never really had that. Never really had that challenge. You know what I'm saying? But like as far as yes, so in Connecticut we didn't have that issue. But in New York, it was definitely that shit was going on. Yeah, we still always. It's crazy. We were hustling through this shit, and we still didn't get to all of this shit. It's crazy.
That's that hip hop shit. I'm gonna mention something because I said it earlier.
Hmm.
Who's the one that brought it up? I think it might have been Chef. Hold
What up?
up. Because I said taco vendor and I didn't. It sounded like it was a derogatory because I've been yelled at before. Ah, you taco vendor. I didn't mean it. I meant someone that sells tacos. That's what I meant. Just for the record, before I get hit with some racist shit.
About what? Tacos? What?
Yeah. Because out here, that's kind of a derogatory, like, oh, you taco vendor, and yeah, it's derogatory out here.
Well, so like what? So, but do you say it to each other?
I said it. So remember, I told you, I'm like, there was,
No, but do
you're
we,
deep.
but I'm saying, do like the Mexicans say it to each other?
Nah. Other cultures say it to Mexicans in a derogatory way.
Okay. When you
And
said it,
I didn't even think about. I mean, it's just really a vendor that sells tacos in a good way. I mean, what I meant by that is you'll have events where it's like, yo, it's a graffiti party or whatever the fuck at this alley. We're gonna have tacos and food and all that. And that's what I meant. Like these college dudes come out and have live music, some tacos, and it's an event. Then later on when it dies down, oh, get the camera out. I'm in the hood, taco hustlers. Boom. I guess we can say that. I didn't even until right now that you mentioned that I was just like, oh shit, that didn't go right. That's gonna be funny. I'm sure that's gonna
funny. I didn't even. That's crazy. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, hip hop and tacos are definitely a vibe, brother.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said it should be a compliment. Yeah, I mean, I love taco vendors. Bring them on. I wish there was more. So
Taqueros. I mean, if we're talking, yeah, taqueros. Okay.
no,
Funny thing, someone said taqueros. The song Too Short, the ghetto. I would change the words with taqueros. Taqueros are taco hustlers, right? Taqueros. Hey, side note, just on some buddy shit.
oh shit.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got coming up, bro?
Oh wow.
You got me hype as fuck right now.
I'm high as fuck. I don't know actually. Let's see. I don't know in what order. We just had Billy Dan's on, so we'll get that show up very soon on the YouTube channel and get that on IG. We got a custom hat maker. He makes like 5-panel. Like he takes like polo jackets and like Nautica recycles them and makes them into like fucking ill ass hats with patches.
No
Crazy.
shit.
Yeah, we got his name's Jarrell Sankey. We got him on. We got Queen Heroine of the Juggernauts on soon. She's dropping something. Of course, we got Brother Jay coming up for another episode of Constant Elevation, A plus. And then I'm trying to think who else. We're basically booked out until November though, so I can't remember with everybody who, but we got a lot of people, so we keep it going,
Word up.
And, yeah,
Word up.
and so and we're doing this. This is bubbling off, man, and we appreciate everybody like hanging with us tight the whole time and shit.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Saying?
Tune in next week, episode 5. We're back at it with the DJ and the B-boy. If you guys don't already know, we're gonna give you a hint the day of at actual topics, and whatever the times bring up, we'll definitely talk about it. We're gonna kind of get into more of the Q&A after we get into maybe episode 6, 7. But as you notice, we kind of run out of time real quick because we can talk this shit all day.
Hour goes by quick, but yeah. So it's
Shout
you know
out NYC. Chuck
it's
Boogie
important that
Brown.
we
Peace, bro.
try to you know mix it up and cover all of this stuff because all of these things are very important to the
Super important. Absolutely.
continuation of this shit, man. So that's why. So that's why the new format, and that's why we want to really make sure we hone in on like on the real shit, man. So and if you weren't familiar with some of these things, you might be. So salute everybody. Salute Janine. So everybody,
Salute to me. Constant supporter. I appreciate you.